Your career history is incredible, and there'll be very few people listening today that don't know who Sian Fisher is, but it would be great if you could give us an overview of your career.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. I'm sure there's plenty of people that haven't heard of me because there's always new people joining the sector at different times. But the way I sort of describe my career, I suppose, is that I've almost had five different careers in a funny way, and that that just by coincidence they seem to follow the decades. I'm in my late 50s now, and if you like, this is my fifth career. But I sort of say, in my sort of 20s, I had a fairly conventional technical, learning my trade, as I put it, and that was actually as a broker. Interestingly, I first was a graduate trainee at what's now Marsh. But after I left their graduate program, I actually switched sides, if you like, and I then joined Hiscox, and that's obviously a part of my career where I did meet a lot of people, and so a lot of people sort of remember me from that bit of my career, and that straddled two things. Firstly, then retraining, if you like, as an underwriter, insurance underwriter. So that's my background. But then also I was given Hiscox the opportunity, which is really my 30s, was then that transition from being a senior technical person to being a manager, I suppose, or a sort of a leader in a commercial sense. And then in my 40s, I was given a very good opportunity. Hiscox bought an insurance company. And I was asked to join that insurance company, and actually, I then ended up actually being the managing director of that insurance company. So that then meant that I got all the experience of being regulated and having to lead an actual company, a limited company, and that was fantastic. But then I suppose I was only in my early 40s then, and I'd been at Hiscox for quite a long time. And I was offered the opportunity to actually do an entrepreneurial flat startup, madness in many ways. But I joined a gentleman called Nigel Barton to create a business called Oxygen, and that had two parts to it. And my part, if you like, was setting up and managing what would now be called an MGA business. But we were one of the very first businesses to do that in the UK. And because of that, we were approached to be bought by quite a lot of businesses. And actually, we sold the Oxygen MGA, which is called OIM, to Gallagher's. So I kind of went round a big circle back to my original broking roots. But this time I was entering a broking business, but as an underwriter, so with an underwriting business. And that was very interesting, how you try, to put a completely different function into a very big, broking conglomerate, as it were. And then so obviously when you sell your business to another business, you have like an earn-out period and a contractual period that you have to stay with the business. And so I kind of completed that. And actually, I just accepted then. So I was thinking a kind of non-exec might be the next phase of my career, if you want to think about it like that. But just as so, I did accept one non-exec position with Asta, the Lloyds managing agency business. And then Sandy rang me to say that he was retiring from the CII, and I was one of the people that he'd suggested that the board approach to replace him, which I have to say was a bit of a surprise, given that I'd always worked in as a commercial person rather than as a kind of educationalist or a policy type person. But anyway, there you go. Here I am at the CII. So fifth career.